Okay, I got another video here. What we have is a cop in a confrontation, or actually, he's standing off with Jason Gutter Trash. Let's talk about Jason Gutterman for a minute. He's right handed, he carries a Glock 10 millimeter gun. He holds his camera in his left hand, as does his son, Pigpen. Even though they're right handed, they hold their camera in their left hand. That's to free up their right hand to use the gun. The thing about it is, this cop, he's not doing what they call the interview stance. Now, at the police academy, they taught us about the interview stance, where you can go from a very commanding position into the Weaver stance very quickly. I guess they don't teach that anymore. I guess now they teach political correctness and sensitivity. But the thing is, we have an altercation, and the cops have lost their place. And command presence for a cop should be important if you value your life. Because the thing is, I suspect that one day that Jason Gutterman's going to shoot a cop one of these days. Actually, my money's on his son doing the first shot in the back. You got a bulletproof vest. Is it bulletproof? Well, it depends. It depends on the caliber of the weapon. 10 millimeter, now we're getting to a serious caliber, okay? And it could penetrate a bulletproof vest. This does not look like a very high quality bulletproof vest, but anyway, it depends on the caliber. It also depends on the range and the angle, but you'll have a perpendicular angle. Now, in traffic stops, most of the cops get shot in the front, but in a domestic or something like this, they'll get shot in the back. All right? Gutterman's been displaying a lot of things and too much evidence to ignore, basically. But the thing is, I'll tell you about a case that I am directly familiar with. This guy was a cop killer, although he didn't go through with it. And he used his prelude to shooting the cop, and he was armed. And he had every intention to kill the cop, but he used the prelude, I'm here to educate the cop on Georgia law. Okay, he did change his mind, but he definitely had planned it out to kill the cop. But as a cop, you're not there to get educated. Not by the public. You get educated in the classroom, not in the field. Okay, so as a policeman, you should value your life. And they're losing that. They're losing their command presence. They don't value their life. Or at least they do, but they don't do what they can to protect themselves. But anyway, Jason using this thing, I'm here to educate the cops. No. That's a sign. All right? Another one is maybe using your little cliches about, hey, what's the worst thing for a good cop? A bad cop. Cliches are thrown around by potential cop killers as well. I'm guessing it's only a matter of time before they shoot some policemen. And policemen need to be aware of that, and they need to think about themselves, and they need to start practicing the interview stance, which this one obviously was never taught. Okay, he's putting himself in a compromising position. Another thing that a potential cop killer will do, and is that he'll be very disagreeable. He'll be very pushy. He'll say name, badge number. He'll demand information, refuse to provide answers, be extremely uncooperative, and easily agitated. He'll control the camera in a cop situation if he shoots a cop. And if the cop's dead, well, he's going to control the information that's presented in court. Okay. The thing is, when we used to pull people over, let's say for drunk driving, we would look for many different signs, and we had a list of signs that we would look at and to determine what the probability of this guy being drunk is. Gutterman is presenting a lot of these signs as a guy that's going to shoot a cop. Okay? And the cops should start being aware of this. Their chief obviously is not backing them up too much. and they're not learning that much as far as protecting themselves. And I guess the department doesn't value the life of the cop too much.
You're familiar with it? Which is, Poster 7 is the post office's official rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property.
And he's going to argue.
Post office across the country. Okay. So if you want to go inside and take a look at that, I tried to show it to the supervisor, but that gives us express permission to be filming inside. And what I did was I went inside, I bought a stamp, I got a receipt, documenting my stamp purchase, and they seem to feel like there's, for some reason, we're not allowed to do that. So I suggested to them that being that you're city police, you're not going to have jurisdiction on this property. So I asked them, I suggested them they call Homeland Security or call FPS because those are the guys with the answers.
Sure. Because it's a federal building.
Right, but they called you.
Well,
so we were nice enough to stick around and wait for you because we had a feeling you were on the way.
They just called and they said you were making some people inside feel uncomfortable.
Well, actually, we were out here.
Okay.
Before I ever went into the building, a woman walked by and started yelling at me for filming.
Oh, really?
And she went inside and created a stink. So that's the customer. She was actually feeling uncomfortable with me filming on a public sidewalk. I wasn't even in the building.
Yeah, we just got called, and obviously we got.
And notice Jason carries the camera in his left hand.
For your own edification, I can show it to you.
He keeps his shooting hand free.
Well, I can take a look.
His son does the same thing.
I'd love to show it to you, just so you know.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, no, you seem like you're on the same page, but it's just good to have the information behind it.
Are you guys from town then, or?
No. You can tell by my accent I'm not from Minnesota, man.
We got a Jamestown, North Dakota hat.
Yeah. I gotta start saying, don't you know, right?
Yeah. Tricked me there. So do you guys have IDs on you by chance?
I always have ID.
You mind to take a look at it, please?
I very much.
Okay, you don't want me to take a look at it?
No, why would I want to, unless I've committed a crime. I mean, if you lawfully have a lawful reason to demand my identification, I'd be happy to give it to you.
Sure. Well, we just got called here, that's why I'm asking. You mind if I take a look at your ID?
I don't have it with me.
Okay. You mind if I write your name down?
Yeah, I do mind.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, there's no nefarious intent, no ill will. We're not looking to cause anybody any trouble.
Sure.
He does have nefarious intent, and as a cop, first of all, you got to stop giving out your name and badge number so easily. When a cop asks for ID and then the guy refuses to give it and the cop says, well, okay, I guess I'll tuck my tail between my legs, makes the cop look bad, makes him look weak, and it makes him a target. Okay? As a cop, I'm just going to recommend some old school things. They ask you as a cop, if you ask for ID, you get the ID, whether they want to give it up or not. And if that means you have to arrest, then arrest.
Yeah, like I said.
How you doing, Officer Lambert? Good. Can I just ask your badge number, please? I know who's here.
319.
Okay, and he gives it up real quickly.
Go ahead, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Officer Lambert, you want to stand by with them? I'm going to talk to the fellow enforcement.
Okay, and what they do is they have two opposing parties, and a police action basically is to separate the opposing parties and interview them independently, okay, and try to figure out what's going on, find out the truth. Now, notice that Gutterman does not want them to interview the other party independently, okay? He's extremely hostile. He's extremely dishonest. And here's another cop that has not heard of the interview stance. I guess they don't teach that anymore. But the interview stance, it's unnatural, it's cumbersome, it's difficult. But you need to practice it anyway. And you'll have muscle memory after a while. And it'll become natural. But the interview stance is to the cop's advantage. And they don't teach it at all academies, obviously.
Let's go see what's going on.
Nope, stay here.
What, am I being detained?
You're not free to go over there.
Am I being detained?
You are being detained currently.
I'm
No.
being detained? Are you sure about that?
You're not going to go over there and talk with the people from the other house.
If I'm not being detained, I sure am.
No.
So am I being detained?
Currently, you're being
You're
detained.
detaining me. I need
Yes.
your business card.
You can have a business card.
Yep. You're making a huge mistake. I would talk.
He is making a huge mistake. He shouldn't be giving up the business card. He shouldn't give him anything, actually. But people say, oh, he told me to do so, so I got to do it. He's not being detained. He's just being blocked from interfering with the other interview. Okay, and Jason knows this, okay? And there's a reason why he doesn't want them to interview the other party, okay? He's in the wrong. He knows he's in the wrong. These cops are putting themselves in a lot of danger by tolerating this stuff, okay? and they're making themselves targets, and that's what Jason's doing. He's fishing for someone. But again, judging by his behavior, being a former Leo myself, my money is on the son that's going to do the first shot, and it'll be in the back.
Talk to your higher-ups, call your sergeant or your lieutenant or somebody. You don't want to detain me unlawfully. I can guarantee you it's going to cost you dearly.
I'm telling you, you're just not going over by my.
Okay, and he's threatening the guy and stuff like that. Another thing is when they say get your supervisor and then you get the supervisor, you've weakened yourself. As a policeman, regardless of what your higher-ups say, you should protect yourself and look after yourself first, and calling a supervisor is not always a good idea. Unless you got a supervisor that's going to back you up, which is kind of iffy sometimes, okay? Because a lot of them will not back you up. And calling them sir all the time, that also weakens you.
My partner. Nope, stay here.
I'm walking down the sidewalk, sir. You cannot impede my travel. Stay out of my face. Stop giving me unlawful orders. I'm not putting up with delivery last evening.
Nope.
Sir.
You're not walking up behind my partner.
Officer Work. Officer Work.
Okay, he's interrupting the interview. They're interviewing the opposing party. Jason does not like that. And you know why.
Listen, I'm going to walk where I want to walk. No, you're going to see. Yes, I am. You have no. Am I being lawfully detained, or are you just getting in my face? Back up.
No, I am backing up. You're walking towards me.
The cops should have arrested Jason immediately for that. Okay, and there's many statutes that would cover that. I mean, he's disobeying orders. But the most important thing that I want to bring out is that this guy on the right, that's a cop killer. Okay, he hasn't killed any of them yet, but I think he will. Okay, and that's where my concern is. Okay, and he'll probably shoot a civilian. This guy's crazy, okay? Don't tell me that this guy on the right is not a crazy maniac. It's only a matter of time. There's my prediction. I said it.
Officer Work.
We're taking off, man.
I'm not being detained. This idiot's trying to detain me unlawfully, standing in my face. You're in deep shit, buddy. You just fucked up. Major.
Hold on.
No, you did. You just fucked up. So why don't you
Now
just...
let's watch your language, okay? No,
No,
that is an
that's
issue.
my First Amendment right
No,
to
no,
say
no,
whatever
no,
I
you
want
can't
to say.
no,
Sure.
you can't disturb the public.
I'm talking to two police officers. You guys are grown men. You
Yeah,
can
but
handle it.
she might be offended by it. Somebody else wants.
Well, don't solicit any issues.
Okay, now you are starting to solicit issues.
No, I'm not
okay?
starting to solicit.
Okay, how is this protecting people's First Amendment rights? It's not. It's creating a disturbance.
We're gonna take off.
This gentleman just forcibly stood in front of me and impeded my walking down a public sidewalk.
And he gave you a lawful order, which you disobeyed. But I guess the police are a little more genteel these days. Cops, you may want to clean up your act a little bit for your own protection. Not to appease me, but to protect yourselves. I used to be a cop, and, they say, well, you're being a little paranoid. No, I call it being cautious. And if you've ever been skydiving, you'll notice we have 2 parachutes, not 1.
And unlawfully just placed me under detention.
So we know what you're trying to do here.
No, you don't. No, what I'm trying to do is find good officers, and I guess I found a couple of tyrants here today.
Okay.
And you should straighten this young lady out on the rules of the post office.
We're not going to argue with her, though.
Let's go. You guys are free to leave.
If I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay.
Okay.
Call Federal Protection Service.
Tell me he's not starting trouble. Tell me he's not completely out of his mind. In psychological terms, I mean, this guy's got some mental disorders, obviously.
That's what I would suggest. We'll have the conversation with people that know what they're talking about. You screw...
Okay, you got a crazy man here, basically. This guy is nuts. He's out of his mind. That's what you're dealing with. And he should be treated as such.
Negative, we're out.
Yeah, adios, buddy. Kick rocks. Later, Lambert. Learn a lesson today.
Well, they don't want to
Don't let your ego kick in, Lambert. It's a bad mistake. You have no idea who I am, and I'll eat you for dinner, bro. Just have a nice day and take off.
Okay, he's threatening the cops. Yeah, he's probably going to deliver on that threat, too, in the back.
See you later. Bye. Adios. Toodaloo. Go find some real crime. And Officer Work, nothing with you. You were being very respectful and courteous and professional. I appreciate that. Lambert over here needs to learn a lesson, and I'm going to teach it to you.
You're going to teach Lambert a lesson. Yeah, you'll probably put a bullet in his back. That's what I'm expecting. No, this guy's crazy. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you study psychology, and I have, this guy's nuts. He's certifiable.
You're gonna lose your little unmarked car there, Lambert. Get knocked down a peg. Cool. Bye, fool. Adios. See you later. Clown. So that officer's name, for anyone interested, is Matthew Lambert, badge number 319. His office phone number is 218-299-5120. He is an officer with the Moorhead Police Department, which is located at 915 9th Avenue North in Moorhead, Minnesota. As I always say, guys, I invite you to call up. You have every right to seek redress with your government. If anything you saw here just disturbs you or bothers you or gives you any cause for question or concern. But if you do call up, please remain professional.
Yeah. Tell me this guy is not completely out of his skull. So, I mean, yeah, this guy is a danger. He poses a danger to police. As a policeman, you ought to start paying attention more, watch your back more, and maybe you ought to, realize that this genteel approach is not working. You cannot reason with a crazy man. This guy is crazy. There is no logic. You do not reason with a crazy, rabid man. And this guy is completely out of his mind, certifiable. If he was taken in, he would be certified.